Hey, Brandon here. For the past few months, I've been testing what might be the most futuristic yard gadget I've ever tested roaming around my yard. I've previously tested the Yarbo in the winter with snow removal and I was very pleased with the outcome. The Yarbo is a little bit more complicated to set up than other robot mowers, however, we were able to get it done in one evening. You set up the base station, install the module. One challenge is that the RTK unit does require an Ethernet connection. And so if you don't have that already available, you will need to run that wire. Fortunately for us, we had one at the side of the house at the demarcation point where the cable runs into the house. And so I was able to use that existing line. Mapping was pretty straightforward. You drive the mower around your yard like a little tank. You can use the included remote control that looks like an Xbox controller. Otherwise, you can do it right from your phone. I found that in the winter it was easier to use the remote for mapping. That way I could wear gloves. But in the summertime, I actually really enjoyed using the phone for mapping. So when we got our yard set up, I did set up additional areas for our side yard, our backyard, as well as our neighbors for additional testing. I was able to create those zones right within the app there just by driving it, and then I connected them together with little waypoints. It was very straightforward. From there, I was able to set the mower up on tasks and see how it did. One of the big challenges that we ran into was the GPS signal when the mower would go in between our houses. We live in a suburban neighborhood, and so the houses are maybe 10, 15 feet apart. And what I found is that the GPS signal is bouncing between, and it was having issues with the connectivity. The workaround is that you could put the RTK unit on the roof, but that wasn't something that I was willing to do. Another issue I ran into is on a really windy day, the RTK pole got moved in the wind, and so that caused the map to drift a little bit. It was very easy to correct. I just needed to go back and straighten it, and then within the app do the map drifting correction. That alleviated those problems. For us, our backyard has a fence, and so the Yarbo isn't capable of opening that gate anyways, and so driving it in between the two areas isn't the end of the world. For most of the testing, I kind of kept it in the front yard. I think it did pretty well. Although due to its larger size, it did struggle with around like the utility post. And for that reason, I think the Yarbo is best suited for larger yards, unlike our small suburban yard. Midway through testing, I was frustrated because our RTK unit became disconnected. Upon further inspection, I found that rabbits had actually chewed through the Ethernet cable. I was able to get that replaced, and then when I reset it up, I made sure to put the cable underneath the rocks to discourage them from eating it. This isn't something you would experience with other units that do use Wi-Fi for connectivity, so that's something to consider. While the Yarbo is good at navigating larger lots and it's good with hills and rough terrain, I think it actually struggles a little bit with areas that are tighter. I'm not sure if the sensors on the back aren't currently turned on, but what I've noticed is that it doesn't have very good spatial awareness. And at times it will go to back up and will back onto landscaping or even up onto walls, which can be challenging and frustrating. One other fun use case we had with the Yarbo was using it to pull a trailer. We were adding additional soil and compost to our gardens in the backyard, and the Yarbo was able to pull the trailer with all of those loaded up in it and bring it right into the backyard for us. It even managed to go right back up the hill with me riding in the back of the wagon, which got some fun looks from the neighbors. I don't know how practical it is because I just as easily could have pulled the wagon myself, but it was fun to demonstrate where the technology is at and to see that automation. Maintaining the Yarbo is a bit more involved due to its size and complexity, but it's easier than maintaining a gas mower. Every week or so, I would clean the grass clippings out of the mower deck and tracks. Because it's a heavy machine, grass clippings and mud can accumulate around the track and wheels under the deck. The blades stayed sharp through the entire testing period. Having 10 small blades means each one does less work, and they seem to last longer. When the time does come to replace them, they are very easy to swap out. The app doesn't yet track blade hours or usage, which is something I'd love to see in a future update for proactive maintenance. And one more item. The Yarbo has a 4G cellular connectivity as an option. This allowed the mower to stay connected even if it went out of Wi-Fi range, like when I was testing over in the neighbor's yard. It also means that I can check on it and get alerts when I'm not home. You can even pull up the cameras remotely, similar to how you would with a Tesla. I did get a couple of stuck notifications on my phone, so it was useful to be able to know that there was an issue. So who is the Yarbo best for? After wrapping up my testing, I will say that the Yarbo is a seriously capable machine with a broad vision of what a yard robot can do. It's mostly delivered on that promise for mowing. The Yarbo robotic mower is best suited for homeowners with large yards. I'm talking an acre or more, with lots of zones, slopes, various terrains, basically scenarios where lesser mowers would struggle or where you'd normally need a riding lawnmower. It shines on big properties due to its fast mowing speed and long battery. If you've got hills or frequently wet ground, the tracks and weatherproofing mean it can handle those where other wheeled robots might fail. Also, if you live in a region with snow, the fact that the Yarbo's core can attach a snowblower module in the winter is a huge bonus. It's like getting year-round value. That said, Yarbo is a premium, early adopter product. Its pricing and the setup isn't trivial. You should be comfortable with tech, the apps, and maybe a little bit of yard DIY to get it going. In my case, once it was dialed in, it saved me tons of mowing work, and even some snow shoveling. For an average suburban yard, frankly, the Yarbo might be overkill. A simpler robot could do. But for large or challenging yards, or for tech enthusiasts who want the latest and greatest, Yarbo is an absolute beast of a mower that can tame just about any lawn. In conclusion, while I'm quite impressed with what the Yarbo can do, it feels like having a mini landscaper tank roaming my yard, efficiently and intelligently caring for the grass. The concept of one robot for mowing, leaf blowing, and snowing is ambitious, and Yarbo is making it a reality. There are some growing pains for sure, but the real-world results on my lawn don't lie. It works. If you're someone with a big yard and love the idea of high-tech yard maintenance, and you're willing to invest in it, Yarbo could be a game changer for you. Just be ready for a little bit of tinkering and setup effort up front. I hope my experience helps you get a clear picture of what living with a Yarbo mower is really like.